Hello everyone, the MLG Skylander Man 36 here today, and today we are reacting to Marty McFly versus Dipper Pines. I'm actually kind of confused on a matchup like this one, as I only have experience with Marty only a little. I haven't seen the Back to the Futures movie in a while. In a fight, I don't know about Marty being a fighter, as he would have to be creative with his guitar. And this is just a guy who says he hasn't watched the movies in some time, and like the iteration of his Lego minifig, he uses a guitar for more of a weapon-based choice, which is really interesting. Dipper Pines, on the other hand, as I clearly remember, as I grew up with him more, I generally remember the fact that he does have access to his book, which helps him, but not much. He is a fighter, but the only times I've ever seen him gone hands to hands is either with Bill or either Gideon, and he. I know he tried to fight. What's that one character from the arcade machine? If y'all remember what I'm talking about, he did try to fight a video game character that did not. It was not in his favor. He was really weak when he did the attacks. So, yeah, Dipper had no chance in that fight, and somehow he survived a combo. And I'm actually shocked by that too. Like, in a sense, he did survive a combo by this video game character. The only thing I do know about Dipper is that he did basically he did face a fourth dimensional being who literally can change reality in his own way. Dipper's strong, but he's not resilient. I think it's just the fact that, yes, he did have help because he had Mabel, but because this is just him against Marty alone, I kind of wonder where this will go. As I said, both characters I can't say are combatant, but also it just depends on the iterations you use of these characters. That's just me saying. There we go. Zed. But as I said, I haven't watched the movies in some time, and we'll see if I'm still remember one different way. Did it see to see Godzilla and Hulk? Just because we did watch Godzilla vs. Hulk a few days ago.
When you're young, there are those you look up to and can help lead you on a good path in life, if you're lucky. There are even those who may be young, but have enough intelligence and skill to keep up with their mentors, showing a promising future.
Being the apprentices of great scientists, these two have gone on many journeys, leading them across time and such, and thanks to the mentors that they follow, they become more intelligent by the day.
Marty McFly, the boy who went back to the future.
And Dipper Pines, the paranormal investigator of Gravity Falls.
For this episode, we are including all official materials based on both series.
Okay.
Not only the original respective film and TV series, but also games, spin-off shows, and comics, and, well, pretty much all kinds of stuff we could find.
Okay.
Alright, now that we've introduced our
it's more like a
jacket-wearing
composite
time
of
travelers,
Marty and
I'm
Dipper.
Max, and he's Ducko.
Okay.
And we're going to analyze these two young heroes and determine who will prevail and who will get lost to time.
Okay, I was like, how are they gonna do this?
Marty was a seemingly regular student living in 1980s Hill Valley, California, until one day, his quote-unquote friend, Needles, stole his guitar. So he went to his neighbor, Doc Brown, to get a new one from his garage. Doc Brown had set up a bunch of traps, but Marty was able to solve them, impressing the scientist.
Doc proceeded to take Marty under his wing as his assistant, and the two formed a strong friendship, with Marty often helping Doc Brown with his experiments, which eventually culminated in his greatest achievement, the flux capacitor, the device that makes time travel possible.
From there, Marty embarked on numerous time-traveling escapades, first going to the 50s and seeing his young parents, then later going to the far-off future of 2015. Then he went to cowboy time, and that adventure ended in the time machine getting destroyed, but not really. And then there are numerous other spin-offs which sent him all over the place.
Marty is no pushover, able to defend himself when the time calls for it. Marty was able to punch out Buford Mad Dog Cannon, and he can smash large rocks by jumping on them like Super Mario. Aside from that, he's shown that he's capable of harming people of comparable durability to him.
Surprisingly, he can survive lightning striking him, being flattened, mangled, and twisted in a cartoony manner, several instances of building destruction, not to mention that he probably scales to Doc Brown surviving a similar incident, which adds further consistency to this.
Adding on to Marty's relationship with lightning, he can actually dodge it. You can even see the clouds above shooting it down at him, as Marty dodges multiple lightning bolts from different directions. Plus, while driving the DeLorean, he's able to avoid lightning as well. In general, dodging lightning requires massively hypersonic speeds to avoid.
He seems to also dodge any number of things fired at him, ranging from bullets to arrows to blaster shots from the futuristic Rift Cannon.
Dodging these projectiles is already a bit of a skill, but he has other skills too, like, well, if you can count being able to exist when he reasonably shouldn't a skill, then that's one. Whenever Marty screws up the timeline to the point that he should cease to be, rather than just poofing out then and there, he actually has time to set things right as he slowly fades. In the first film, he had a few days even to fix things.
He's also shown great skill in using his surroundings to his advantage, MacGyvering his way out of traps, and tricking others who put him in harm's way. He seems to especially like the trick of pointing somewhere and yelling, "What the hell is that?" He's also a good marksman, mainly due to his skill at the Wild Gunman arcade game.
Marty's brains have helped him a lot in his adventures, even allowing him to convince Citizen Brown that he was from another timeline, and that Brown himself had invented time travel. For context, Citizen Brown was an alternate version of Doc Brown who had never invented time travel, and had, in fact, used his brains to create a dystopian hill valley that he was in charge of. Doc thought Marty was insane, but Marty was able to find evidence to convince him that Marty was right. Beyond just the skills Marty was able to gather from his experiences with Doc Brown's time machine, he was able to pick up some useful items to get him along on these adventures, and in the video games things got weirder, but let's start with the movies. Marty's main tool comes from 2015, where every kid everywhere has a hoverboard. I wish. This device usually allows Marty to hover around at quick speeds, but it can be used to bust metallic enemies and even boulders.
With the hoverboard, he can flip and reflect attacks thrown at him, and he can also fly, such as when he decided to become the Ghost of Christmas Future to Ebenezer Tannen, certainly. Sticking back to the movies before we get into further strangeness, he also has skills with a pistol, as mentioned before, and he also has a bulletproof vest as protective armor.
From the third film, he also has a metal plate that he can toss at people to hit or disarm them. Getting into his more ludicrous weapons, he gets a force field in the game if he drinks some soda, which grants him temporary invincibility. He also has a coin magnet to bring in coins or any kind of spare change. If Marty were more malicious, he could easily rob some folks with this weapon.
Then we have his most famous weapon. That's right, the bowling balls from the NES game. Or at least that's what we assume they are. Laughing, joking, numbnuts. He seems to be able to throw this infinitely, never running out of bowling balls. Heavy. No, really, they've got to be heavy because they're fucking bowling balls. He also has dynamite that he can throw and it explodes, which doesn't seem to affect him, surprisingly.
What does affect him, though, is time paradoxes. While he can't avoid them for a while, eventually he really will get wiped from existence if he doesn't fix what caused it in the first place. Also, Marty has a tendency to rush headfirst into battle, acting in the heat of the moment.
He also seems to get offended by being called a chicken. So do I, but for different reasons. Luckily, he seems to have gotten over this over time.
Yes, as you can see, Marty is capable of overcoming his weaknesses, because at the end of the day, Marty Mcfly is a well-meaning and surprisingly capable teenage boy, motivated by the power of love for his friends and family.
I guess you guys aren't ready for that yet. But you kids are gonna love it.
Dipper Pine was also a seemingly average kid, going on vacation with his sister Mabel and living with his great uncle Stan in the town of Gravity Falls, Oregon.
Dipper was immediately put to work at the Mystery Shack that his gruncle owned, a place that advertised great mysteries, but was actually a load of nonsense. However, Dipper soon learned that the town of Gravity Falls really did have paranormal entities when he found a mysterious journal in the woods.
This led him and his sister to investigate the town.
There, Dipper was able to come across the likes of trolls, the Halloween trickster, and even the triangular dream demon Bill Cipher. Dipper Pines went through a lot of paranormal adventures over the course of one summer, wherein which he had to survive against all manner of beings.
Dipper whooped the multi-bear, who should be stronger than the average bear, punched open an air vent, caught and dragged the much larger Gremloblin back to the shack, leapt over a large gorge, and ran up walls, among other things.
Dipper's short stature allows him to get around quickly, dodging projectiles like fireballs from Old McSkirmish and futuristic clock fire. He also most likely skills to Mabel, who was able to pilot a ship going at the speed of sound, and dodge objects while piloting it.
He can also survive being thrown down a gorge, getting punched by the wall and car-destroying large explosion-creating Rumble McSkirmish, high-speed alien spacecraft crashes, and an explosion that took out the top half of a building.
Dipper is definitely stronger than what you'd think at a first glance, considering he's just the kid. But even as a kid, he was able to pick up on some skills throughout his adventures in Gravity Falls.
Well, he is generally considered smart, even by other smart people like Ford, and was able to outwit a version of Sherlock Holmes. A wax version, mind you, but still, he's a skilled detective and a paranormal expert, due to his constant reading of Journal Number 3. He also clearly has combat skills, taking down large creatures like the multi-bear, and engaging in sword fighting with the aforementioned wax Sherlock Holmes.
Speaking of that sword, it's one of the many weapons Dipper has had to use in combat in order to protect his life in the dangerous town of Gravity Falls. But let's go over his more useful tools. First off, Dipper has the memory wiping gun stolen from the Society of the Blind Eye. Dipper merely has to type down what memory he wants to erase, point the weapon, and make the target. If it's pulled off well, it'll successfully remove the memory, although it doesn't work on people whose minds are already lost to insanity.
He also has a special flashlight that can shrink and grow things.
Oh, crap.
Well, he broke it, but it came back in Weird Mageddon Part 3, and people usually include it anyways. He also has a metal-attracting magnet gun, either to bring the metal right to him, or go to it himself, depending on the size and weight of the object.
Next, Dipper has a laser gun that can be used to disintegrate objects. And last of all, he has battle cuffs that shoot out energy fists whenever Dipper throws a punch. If timed correctly, his charged strikes could even reflect projectiles. However, these technological marvels still can't protect Dipper from his crippling insecurities.
Dipper's smart.
Aw, you had to think of it the worst time ever in analysis.
Dipper's smart, but he can get nervous and make bad decisions under desperate times. He also relies a lot on the journal when he looks at supernatural threats, and will be put into a bad situation if he can't find info, or if pages of the journal are missing.
Dipper's also still a kid, a mature one for his age, but still young and inexperienced. After all, this all happened over the course of one summer. Not to mention that, whenever a plan Dipper has set up falls apart, he tends to crack under pressure as opposed to coming up with a new plan.
But everything he did was still impressive, especially over such a relatively short span of time. From canceling the apocalypse, to just helping those around him in need. Dipper is one skilled young detective who will take on the jobs others are scared to do.
This is what I was talking about. How many other 12-year-olds do you think are capable of doing what you've just done?
Yeah.
These kids both have bright futures ahead of them, but in this case, one will have a less bright future. I guess so.
Will the detective solve this case and put Marty behind bars? Probably not like that, but will Dipper win? Or will Marty turn the Pines twins into the Lone Pine?
These are some dark analogies.
It may not be the fanciest method of getting money for a new guitar, but it's getting me results.
I wonder if Ford would be okay with me using this magnet to look for those metal trolls who took my wallet.
Hey, what's going on?
He's on to me. Are you in league with the metal trolls?
Metal what? You just smacked me, kid.
Kid? Nobody calls me kid.
Wait.
Fight!
Dang.
Ugh, this is heavy.
Are you crazy? You just threw a bowling ball at me?
There's more where that came from. Seriously, I don't know where I got these things.
Oh, crap.
Not again.
Oh! Oh! You did that, Lord.
Great Scott!
Yeah, we done.
Look, kid, I think this got out of hand. Do you want to go find our magnets?
Oh, okay. In retrospect, this was very out of character for me. I don't know what happened.
Thank goodness nobody was put in jail or erased from existence, but it does seem like Marty McFly has come out on top today. But why is that?
Both have consistent wall-level feats, but reach small building at their highest. However, Marty scales to Doc Brown's larger building level feat, thus tipping that scale physically towards Marty. Speed-wise, Dipper scales to Babel's reaction speed, piloting a ship at the speed of sound. Marty, however, dodges lightning, which is even faster than that, so on all levels physically, Marty has this.
Marty and Dipper can put up a fight, Dipper being able to take on the Multi-Bear and a whack Sherlock Holmes, while Marty is usually able to win street brawls. But in general, having the physical advantage over someone means you're going to be able to win in a fight. But Dipper wasn't completely defeated here, with a superior arsenal at his side. However, Marty had weapons and feats to actually counter Dipper's weapons.
Keep in mind that a large majority of Dipper's weapons are easily taken away from him, which is well within Marty's capabilities, and he does have his force field and bulletproof vest to help protect him up close. Not to mention the hoverboard helps give him superior mobility.
Both are likely even Stevens when it comes to intelligence, able to impress scientists like Doc Brown and Stanford Pines. And they're both good at solving puzzles and tricking people, so we don't think either of them are actually going to outsmart each other. And yet, thanks to Marty's previously stated advantages, it's more likely that he would come out on top here.
Making this multiverse match's major winner, Marty McFly.
Alright. Alright, let's see what's next. I do not know if that is copyright, so I'm not gonna try and say anything about that. All fairness, so it's an older show. Oh, it's Duck. So Duck versus Goliath. It's funny that this is mentioning to me now because I've watched that show in comparison to Darkwing Duck. And I really should try to watch those shows again. Just because that way I can understand them both better. Because, golly. And that's something of a matchup. But, yeah, I guess I could see Marty winning. Just because if you composite with the games. Now, if you were just to do it with the films, including just the cartoon series, I could say that battle could have gone different with Dipper winning, but because it was with the other continuities, I could see Marty winning, which is kind of a fair deal, considering if you base it on the movies. Well, no, because he is good with a pistol in the movie. But then Dipper would have the flashlight, and oh boy, yeah, okay. I don't think the hoverboard can go any higher than that, so... Yeah. But I guess that really gets me. I guess it could just be Marty's win because of that. best of physical feats, and also arsenal because he actually can't shoot a pistol straight. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed that reaction, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see y'all in the next one. Later.